Stay awesome! Stay awesome! Stay awesome!
Stay awesome!
Hi viewers, welcome to episode 14 of Stay Awesome Van Life. This week we have a great episode with an overview of the 12 volt electrical system working in the Renault Master and the layers of insulation used to create the ambience and temperature controls of the internal van. Enjoy. The big day's arrived, Gazza.
Yeah, you want me to come over and look in the van? There better be a fucking beer in the fridge this time, I tell you.
Okay, let's see how we go. Have a look.
Alright, well let's have a look.
Here we go. Finish your cigarette again.
I'm not keeping my fingers crossed, mate, for a beer, but anyway.
And you can have a go. I've got a bit of stuff in there at the moment because I'm building out.
Oh,
Yeah, I have, yeah, got to have it in here while you're doing the build.
alright, I'm going to the fridge.
Good news is, wait a sec, Gazza. There we go, drum roll.
Oh!
Let's have a look. What's in there? Your favourite, Corona 2020. I nearly fell out of the van.
How good is that?
You like that?
It's even cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are looking up in this van, mate.
Yeah, look who's looking at you.
Yeah.
Who's over there looking down on you?
Oh, that's little puppy dog.
Yeah, silver dart tail.
Silver
Oh,
dart.
yeah. So you got your beer.
She's a bit odd.
Hey, Gazza, you know the next thing I've got to put in it?
What?
Is a bottle opener. I've got one to put in.
Oh, right.
It's going to go right down here,
Yeah.
right beside the sink.
Nice.
I've got a Coca-Cola one, so that'll be going there. And yeah,
But you have to basically shower, already.
yeah, it's already in there. Yeah, it's in there. It's underneath all that crap.
Oh, right.
Look at that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
There we go, Gaz.
Well, I like the van more now that it's got cold beer in it, mate.
Cold beer. The fridge has been running 24/7 since Christmas Day.
Right, how's
Yeah.
the batteries holding up?
Hey? Oh,
How's
they're
that?
full.
Oh,
Yeah, they're going real well. 2 lithium, 100-hour batteries. Yeah. Yeah. So the chargers in there, they're all working away. I don't know if you can see it from here. Look at that much stuff in here, but there's the system.
all right, okay.
Yeah, working away. Lights blinking. All safe, you know.
And you know the biggest part about it is that you wired the fucking thing up. It's amazing.
I know. I've got to a 240 volt. I can't.
Hey?
I've got to get a Sparky to do a 240
Yeah,
volt.
for Christ's sake, get a start.
Yeah, no, I am. You got it by law and for your insurance.
Right, mate, you
Yeah.
better get to work anyway.
Yeah.
Only one thing to stay. Corona. Stay awesome.
Yeah, 2020. 2021.
Things are looking up, mate.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Gazza.
Yeah, so you now go.
Yeah, okay, after your big day of mowing the lawn here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a good job. Yeah. I filmed you going past the Renault Master. See you, Gazza.
There's Julia, look, get up.
Here's Julia. She's home now. So we're just going to show how the car performs on the road, even though it's got a heap of tools in it, and I've already built most of it out, as you know. Have a pan down there, Alex. Show the viewers what we've done so far on the back. Oh, beautiful. Today we're going to reflect on the install of the 12 volt electrics and later on an overview of what insulation properties have been used for the Renault Master in the build out. Here we have the roof racks that we used to put on the roof of the Renault Master, 2 sets, and the mono solar panels, 2 of them, all 350 watt each, which makes 700 watts on the roof. And there's a mono panel out of the box, all ready to go. Performed very well, these panels. I'm very impressed. So it's been a bit of a process getting them on the roof. Roof racks, panel bolted to the roof racks, and that's secure. Never glue these panels, always bolt them or do a bit of both, but never ever just glue them up there. I've seen people do that, and that's really irresponsible. I know I'll get some flack for this, but don't just trust glue. It's dangerous, and think of others. So there we go. We've had the panels on the roof shortly. There'll be 2 panels. There's some of the fittings I used to fit them to the actual roof racks. which you can get from Super Cheap Auto or any auto place. They go straight into your rack grooves. There we go with the Max air fan and the TV aerial on the roof, the MC4 connectors. We've got some trip switches and quality cables. You really want thicker cables than what you need. That's the safest way to go. That's the layman's way of talking about it. Now there we have the Lithium Life PO4 batteries, 100 amp hour, and they are brilliant. I am so impressed. I've got two of those in parallel inside the Renault Master, and they have the BMS chip in them, so they run really well. We've discussed these before, the Wago connectors. I've noticed ever since I put that video out, Humble Roads mentioned them, so that's quite impressive. There's your wool insulation, your Reflectix, and your rattle trap. I rattle trap the entire van. In every square inch is rattle trapped. So that's the soundproofing, every bit. The silver backed soundproofing. And there we have the panel ready to go in. I built a little frame there for it to mount into. Most of the electrics go through there in an electric riser. So we've got our 12 volt all meeting up there. That's a TV aerial antenna power. And there we have cigarette lighter. You can charge your mobile phone, everything else on there, and heaps of switches for future proofing the van. Your Max, or no, not your Max, that's your Sirocco fan. There's your Max air fan. That is going well too. That is brilliant. I got the one without the remote control, but doesn't matter. It works easy anyway. It's just push your finger up there and have it either come in or out. And with the combination of the Sirocco fan and the Max fan and crack the window, very cool. There we have the Glacio fridge. Now I'm very happy with this. I'm happy with this. I operated that for about 2 weeks inside my home, just to see how much noise it makes, and then learn more about how to keep it quiet. And the biggest trick is to have heaps of ventilation. It is working magnificently. Ever since I've connected it, it just runs and runs and runs. There's the electrical setup. It's not quite finished yet. I've got to tidy up there a bit, obviously, but it's running really well. The Wago connectors connected to the puck lights in the ceiling. That is brilliant. That is so much better. Whatever you do, get Wago connectors. Make your life a lot easier and easier in the future if you ever have to replace a LED light or whatever. It's just an easy thing to do. Sirocco fans running really, really well. And that thing has some power in it if you want to crank it right up. I'm so happy with it. And really, you really need a little window at least to make this system work perfectly, because you crack the window, doesn't matter how big, as long as some air can come in, the Max fan can do its job and the Sirocco fan does its job, and then in combination you've got a nice cooler van, I'll say, because you can have 50-degree heat outside or whatever, and it's not going to get rid of all the heat, but it makes it a lot more comfortable. So, just using foam floor mats. I've seen some people put them in the floor of vans. I'm using them as the insulation second layer, and yeah, they work out well. I used them on a ute once, and yeah, really worked out well for sound and insulation. So I'm not sure of the rating, but yeah, anyway, something new for people to think about, and very versatile. Very easy to use, very easy to cut just with a pair of scissors, as I have been doing. So the layers I have installed are the rattle trap, that's the soundproofing, rubber backed silver tape that goes all over the van. And it's quite expensive, but I'm glad I did the whole lot. I did the whole van in it. Then we had a layer of bubble wrap, a layer of wool insulation, another layer of bubble wrap, and a layer of exercise mat where I thought it was appropriate, where I thought it would be easy to put it in there and get a nice snug fit, because along with the insulation it has this great soundproofing property, so it's absolutely great. Like, I put some in the ceiling, just a few cards here and there. You don't have to cover the whole lot, just as long as you've got different properties of insulation. They're going to help with different levels of soundproofing, and working together, it does a really good job in combination. So there's your rattle trap. It just glues in sheets just straight onto the metal. I'll see people put just squares on, but I just did the whole lot. There's the real wheel well in the Renault Master with the rubber fitted, factory fitted backing. I left that on there. I've seen people scrap it off. Why? I've got soundboard on there. That's soundboard, proper soundboard. So I've put a layer of actual soundboard on there. So it's highly compressed and it's got very good properties. I got it at a bargain at Bunnings, but don't tell anyone. There's the wheel arch covers being built at the same time. You can't just film these processes in one hit, because incrementally you're doing different parts of the build at different points in the build process. So I've tried to tie that all together today just to give you a bit of an overview of what you can do, and take every opportunity. If you can cut the sound down or snug a bit more insulation in a certain spot, do it, because you're going to get that chance now. Later on you can only think, I wish I did it. Well, you've got the time and you've got, the space there. Why not use it and make the living quarters a lot more comfortable? There we have the wall. I just ploughed in as much as I could, and it makes a great layer on top of everything else. And then obviously you've got your cards that you can put around on top. So there's 9mm of marine board that goes on top again, all contributing to soundproofing and insulation in their own right. So it's a combination of efforts that the finished product and the soundproofing and insulation you have all add up, all converge and create what sort of atmosphere you're going to have inside the van, temperature wise or temperature control wise, and for your acoustics. Very important with the acoustics. You could have people pull up beside you with a car with a radio blaring or whatever. You might be sleeping, you don't want to hear it. So if you can do your best efforts to stop that, soundproof it, you're going to be a lot more comfortable. The oak floor even had some insulation underneath it as you laid it. It's about 30 kilo, that floor, and each box that was. So there's about 300, I hate to say it, might be 300 kilo floor there, but it's very well insulated. I just put a subfloor in. I didn't put any insulation underneath. I didn't have to, because the Renault Master had the rubber fused backing there, and there's no way in the world I was going to scrape that off. I've seen people do that, and I nearly cry. I think, why would you do all that work to get rid of something that's already there that's absolutely brilliant? Just leave it there if you have it. Don't go scraping it off. That's a bonus. As the build goes on and more things are added to the floor and the walls, you can tuck more and more insulation behind everything as you put it in, and seal the edges with clear silicone or whatever, so you don't have stuff going underneath there. But as you go, just always have in the back of your mind, what can I do to add more insulation? Where can I fit a bit more soundproofing? How will this work for acoustics and temperature control? Just little things that you can do along the way. I just kept putting my tools away in that box as I went along, so it's coming very handy underneath that lounge there. Bit of a mess, but while you're building out, don't expect to have it in showroom condition while you're on a building site. No building sites like that. There's that little step I made for smaller people. I've had kids in there and no one uses it. But anyway, looks good and provides a little bit of ventilation into that cupboard, where I may well have a diesel heater. I'm not sure yet, but always thinking ahead. The Glacio fridge. Oh, gee, that thing's good, eh? It comes with 240 volt lead and a 12 volt lead. I just hooked it up to the 12 volt because it's got a 3-prong connector on the back, and you can only put one on at a time, and I'd rather just run 12 volts anyway. So Manly's looking good there in the distance, looking at St Helena Island. I have an additional decision to make, or an option. I have a Renogy 50 amp DC to DC onboard battery control charger, but it also does solar. And I already have, as you can see, the MPP3 solar charge controller, the Epivia. It's working really well, don't get me wrong, but this new Renogy option came out and I couldn't help myself, because It's nice to have the option of driving along, charging your batteries if it's an overcast day, plus having the solar. So I've got to make a decision shortly whether or not I keep the MPPT Epiviva or I combine it with the Renogy DC to DC charger, or I just go solely over to the Renogy DC to DC charger with the solar controller. Both 50 amp, there's a 50 amp one, the other one's 40 amp, doesn't make much difference, but yeah, certainly the option, and price wise it wasn't much dearer really. It was probably another $100 for the Renogy, and you get the option of DC to DC, so financially speaking it's probably a very good option. And I'm going to get that professionally fitted, because we're talking wiring from the alternator to the batteries, and yeah, I'd rather have that done right. I'm not too good at that area. Plus I've got some 8mm twin sheath cabling for the systems to wire it from the alternator through to the batteries. Always have the best quality wires, and the biggest wire that you got compared to what is recommended is always the best option, because you're playing it safe. Might be more expensive, but if you're not an absolute expert, just go the safe option every time. Pick the bigger wire. Anyway, that's how it's worked for me, and it's certainly stay awesome. Okay, see you next time.
Hey you, stay awesome. Gotta stay awesome with the van.